Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome to my basement gym again for some stretch and relax. Today we're actually going to use a chair. I've done this a couple of other videos as well. Just gives you an option if you'd like a little bit more attention to certain areas, but maybe you're not as flexy, your balance is a little off, or you're really flexible, but try the chair. It's going to be a nice little change of pace. So let's go ahead and get started today. First, kind of the relaxing part, getting out of our brain, getting all those external to-do lists, those external stressors, and push them aside. Go a little bit inside of ourselves and just push everything else out. So, finding ourselves in a comfortable standing position. Shoes on or off? Mine are off today. I feel kind of warm, kind of fuzzy, so I'm going to let my toes be free. So go ahead and find ourselves in a nice, comfy position, okay? Let the hands be by our sides. Don't focus on posture just yet. We'll deal with that in a little bit. I would love for us to just work on some belly breathing. That's such an important tool to have even outside of class, of practice, of videos. So that way, if there is anything that's just driving you nuts, traffic is crazy, you got to work late, you're late for your dentist appointment, something, whatever, the dog tracks mud in on the carpet, use the breathing technique to help take control of your reaction. We don't have control of what happens around us, but we do have control of our reaction to it. So let's focus on a little breathing. Hands by our sides. If you'd like, close your eyes. You do not have to. If when you close your eyes you feel your balance being a little wonky, keep them open or let your fingertips rest on a chair or against a wall just to kind of ground you so you feel more secure in your space. Let's just start by focusing on our breathing. How are we breathing? Just breathe normally. Maybe we breathe a little higher up in our chest. Maybe we're breathing to expand everything. I'd like for us to bring our breath down to our bellies. If you'd like, place your hands, one or both, on your belly. Feel your hands lift, your belly expand as we inhale. And as we exhale, the belly falls inwards, our fingers come back together, they don't spread apart. Focusing on that sort of internal routing of where we breathe, how we breathe. Inhale and exhale. Don't worry if your breath is shallow and quick just now. Just focus on where the intent on to fill our lungs. We want to fill those bottom basement areas. We want to expand those. And then let everything else fill out as well. Now, once we know we have belly breathing happening, let's work on slowing down our breath. If you just came in from maybe a stressful day at work, it might take you a little longer. If you just woke up, maybe had your cup of coffee and you're ready to go, it might be a little bit quicker for you. But I would love it if we practice a little box breathing, inhaling through our nose and counting to 4, nice and easy. Pause and exhale. Taking 4 counts. Maybe you start out at 2, maybe 3. Let's work up to 4 counts together. And if you can expand beyond 4, that's wonderful. But I like 4 as something that is a doable goal. We feel successful doing it. And I still get some benefit of calming. as we exhale, push out all those thoughts that are cluttering your mind right now, that are just banging on pots, begging for attention. Take those pots out of their hands, put them down. Maybe just visualize it as a statement on a piece of paper. Pick up that paper and just lay it aside. Visualizing moving the stressors away helps you take some control of your reaction. Makes you feel a bit more empowered. And let the mind only focus on the breath and on the count. It's okay, they may still reintroduce themselves. That's why it's called a practice. Let the breath calm us. Let it open us up. Let's start paying attention to our space, how we're standing, how our feet feel, our hips, low back, maybe our shoulders. Those are my achy spots today. What are your achy spots? And can we work on those together? Let's start setting up good posture by lifting the arches of our feet a little bit. Lifting our kneecaps towards our hips as we rotate our thigh bones through and gently drawing our tailbone underneath us. If we need to, readjust your feet. Let your weight settle a little bit more into the heels. Maybe you can lift and wiggle your toes, but let the big toe be anchored. Big belly breathing. Allow the sternum to lift towards your chin. The ribs stay down though. Gently pulling the rib towards our hip bone. Bringing a little bit of active muscle awareness into our belly. Lifting our shoulders up to our ears. And settling the shoulders down. One more time, lift up and settle down. Now if we feel our shoulders are rounded, just imagine you just want to take your shoulder blades and wrap them around a big fat utility pole right behind you. Broadening our collarbones. I don't want to wrap it around a small one. I don't want us to stick our chest out. It's just a gentle widening of the shoulders. Like we want to walk through a skinny door frame, but we want our shoulders to touch it. If you'd like, go ahead and open your eyes now at this time. I'm hoping we feel a little calmer, a little bit more in control, a little bit more centered, and a little bit selfish. We have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of everyone else. Remember that. Let's take a big inhale. Let the fingertips reach to the walls. Lift up. And float them down. Let the breath get deeper, bigger. Excuse my yawn. One more time. We'll add more movement to this. Good. Let's add some flow. Inhaling, lifting, and let's drop our right arm. Reach the right arm down, reaching our left arm up, separating the ribs, beautiful stretch. And lift up. And exhale, switching sides. We're reaching in opposite directions. Good, and lift. And forward fold. Just bringing the hands to the tops of our knees. and then round up one vertebrae at a time. As we do this again, lifting. Exhale, drop that right arm. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dropping our left arm. Inhale, lift. Forward fold, just a small one. Hands come to the top of our knees. And then tuck the tailbone under. Round up one vertebrae at a time. As we inhale again. Exhale, right arm down. Lifting. Exhale, left arm. Reach. Forward fold. Hands just to the tops of our knees. And then round up. Really round up when we do that. Think about taking the tailbone first and really articulating that spine. Forward fold. And then tuck. Roll. Lift. Peel. Last time. Feels wonderful on my low back. Good. Hopefully we feel a little warmer there. We're just going to take that right knee, shifting our weight into our left leg, and just lift it up and over an imaginary box. Now, if your balance is a little wonky, grab that chair. We're going to get our chair here shortly. Or just grab a wall and do the same thing. Again, remember, it's not how far you crank your hips open. It's just lift your knee, open it up till you feel that resistance that stops you, and then put it down. All we're doing is introducing movement to the hip, getting blood to flow in there, getting that lubrication. And let's change sides. So just lift up and over an imaginary box. Again, I'm not opening super far. That's about it for me. Everyone's hips are different. The condyle bone that goes into our hip can be angled forward. It can be pretty neutral, or it can be angled back, so that all kind of sets us up biologically how much mobility we have in our hips. Some people can do great hip openers and some are limited, but yet they're still flexy. It can be their bone structure. Last one. Good. Stagger our feet, okay? And raise up onto the ball of each foot and down. Excuse me. Let's do two more, and then we're going to switch and change. And lift up and lower. Just waking up the ankles, waking up the calves. Notice I'm not rolling out onto my pinky toe. I'm keeping that ankle joint stable. Last one. Good. And shake it out. I'm going to grab a quick drink. We're going to grab our chair. We're going to start with the chair and then end with the floor, okay? I just have a basic kitchen chair. It's a little ladder back chair. My ladder back chair works really, really well because I can wrap my hands around it. I can grab the base if I need to. So it's a little tall for me because you can see I'm very much a shorty. If I sat back, my feet don't touch. That's just me. See if you can find a chair where you can sit back and your feet touch. If you have an issue like me, well, you just find a chair where you scoot forward. Just please not something that's on rollers, all right? If you don't have a chair handy, it's okay. These all can be done on the floor too, as well, all right? So let's go ahead and start seated. I'm going to turn my chair to face you for now. And just sitting on our chair, nice and tall, okay? Let's take our right leg and lay the right ankle right above the knee. Just starting here, even if you are flexi, stay right here. And just sitting up nice and tall, foot is flexed. Just going to do a little rotation over the bent knee. And now hinging at our hip, bringing the chest over the opening between the legs. And sit up nice and tall. And then another rotation towards our bent knee. And then hinging. And remember, our hinge is from here, not from up here. So this is not a hinge, this is rounding. So down here is our pivot point. And lift one more time. A rotation. Nothing big, we're still kind of cool. We're not fully warmed up. So I'm not hitting heavy on rotations right now. We'll do more rotations as we get our body's core temperature higher and a little bit more blood flowing. Now that's a wonderful start. If this is enough for you where you feel tension, stay here. You can scoop your legs underneath and lifting up the legs a little higher and just a little rock side to side. Waking up those hips. Now, maybe this is enough for you. For me, it is. You can see by the line of my calf and my shins, they're a bit diagonal. That's telling me that, yeah, I don't have the flexibility to get my foot up higher. But if you do, this is the most wonderful time to put the foot in the crook of your elbow and your knee in the crook of your other elbow and sit tall and rock. Let the breath go to the tension within the hips. You can stay with me right here. Sit up tall, try not to slouch. I know right now, maybe it's, if you're doing this and you're cradle rocking, go ahead and let the foot be down here, because that might be too much. And I'd rather have you not get a sore lower back from slumping. We need to sit up nice and tall. Good. From wherever we're practicing here, let's bring it down to everyone with the knee on the ankle. We're going to raise our heel and lower, heel and lower. Two more. One more. Let's untangle and change sides. Laying the ankle on top of the knee, you can see again, not very flexy. Sometimes this can be enough, and if it is, wonderful. Please stay there, embrace it. Still sitting up nice and tall. We can scoop under our shin. Still sitting up nice and tall. And cradle rock side to side. If this feels good, stay here. If you'd like to increase the sensation, you may take the foot and lay it on the crook of your elbow, and the knee in the crook of your elbow, sitting up nice and tall, and cradle rocking. Me, again, same story. You can see my shin is at an angle. It's not perfectly parallel with the floor. That's telling me this is enough. I can't even do that. See, if I do it, I start slumping. We need to have tall posture and just embrace where we're at. Good. Let's walk everything back down to letting the ankle rest on the knee, sitting up nice and tall. Let's do a little rotation. And back center, and then hinge. Again, little rotation. Back center. And hinging. Two more times. Rotate. Center and hinge. One more time. Rotate. and center, and hinge. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to raise up onto the ball of the foot, lifting the heel. Some of you may feel that sensation of the stretch, some of you may not feel anything. I feel it because I am tight. Again, giving out everything to benefit everybody. Let's come to standing using our chairs. I'm going to turn my chair to the side just so you can see. You may leave your chair wherever. As we work on our quadricep stretch. So let's put our back to the chair. Doesn't matter what leg you do, but I'm just going to take the top of my foot and let it rest on the chair. My knee is underneath my hip, and if your balance is a little wonky, you can always scoot yourself by a wall, so that way you have wall support as well. And all I want us to do is think about pushing the top of our foot into the chair, increasing a little blossom of tension within our quadricep, a little bit of muscle activation. Actually, I'm going to scoot myself out just a smidgen. There we go. There, that feels much better for me. Nice strong pelvic tilt. Take that tailbone, tuck it under, take out that curve, that shelf in our low back, and a gentle push on the top of the foot into our chair. Let's relax that tension. Let this muscle become soft now. If that was enough for you, feel free to stay there. If you would like to step it up, we can grab the instep of the foot and do the same thing again. Let's push the top of the foot into our hand. So again, you have options. You can be here, if that's enough of a stretch. You can come here, if the sensation feels good and you enjoy it, you don't have labored breath, and your balance isn't dying on you. Good. Let's release that and turn into our chair. That same leg that we just did. Let's place the heel up on the chair, sitting up nice and tall. Our hinge is here as we reach our nose towards our big toe and lifting out. As we lift out, think about using your heel. I want us to push through the chair with our heel, activating the muscles on the back side of our leg. So hinge and push with your heel to lift out. One more time, hinge. And then pushing with the heel to lift out. And let's come into that hinge one more time. Soft knee. Try not to lock things out. That can cause a little knee strain to people. Hands resting on our low back or high up at the crease of our thigh. Please try not to put weight on your knee. Let's just roll the heel side to side. Little windshield wiper. And then pushing with our heel to lift out as we step off. We're going to change sides now. So putting our back to the chair. We just stretch out our quads and our hamstrings here. We're going to put the leg up. Oh, I'm going to step out just a smidgen. There we go. So again, woohoo. Starting with the foot on the chair. Tailbone tucks under. So we don't look like this. We look like this. Wonderful. Now adding in that tension, gently pushing the top of the foot into the chair. We feel that blossoming of tension within our quadricep, within the front of our thigh. Let that tension be there. It should be gentle, it should be easy, it should not be strenuous. Now if this sensation feels wonderful, it is the perfect stretch for your quadriceps for you, great. If If you need a little more sensation, you can grab the instep of your arch. Or your ankle, I should say. And then gently pushing the foot into the hand. Breathing through the tension. Allowing that softness to creep in. Again, if your balance is a little wonky, find a wall. It's okay. Good. We'll all come back to the chair. And then taking the foot off of the chair. That's the leg we worked. Let's turn and face our chair. Placing the heel up on the chair. Foot flexed, knee soft, hinging at our hips. Hinge forward into a hamstring stretch. And now pushing with our heel to lift ourselves out. Hinge and push. Let the muscles in the back of our leg lift us out. Hinge and push. We can feel them just hugging the back of our leg. Hinge and push. One more time. Hinge and push. Let's come into that fold one last time, staying here. Again, soft knee, foot is flexed. Hands may rest on your low back or high in the crease of your thigh. Please, again, don't rest them on your knee. They can hang in space too, whatever feels good. We're going to windshield wiper that foot side to side. Feeling the changes happening within our stretch. Good. And then again, pressing with our heel to lift out. And taking our foot off. Shake out those legs. Good. Using the chair one more time for a standing posture. So just soften those knees, bring the hands to the seat of our chair. And I just want us to work on our low back. So we tuck our tailbone under, rounding, and then turn the tailbone up to the ceiling and drop the belly through. Tuck and round, and drop the belly through. 4 more times. Tuck, and turn the tailbone up. 3 more. 2 more times. 1 last time. Good. Let's round up. Push the chair away, dropping the chin. Good. And I want us to keep the elbow straight as we sink our chest through our shoulders. Keep the elbow straight as we push the chair away. Keeping our elbow straight. Again, let your chest sink through your shoulders. And then push the chair away. And sink. 2 more times. Push. And sink. 1 last time. Push. And sink. Good. Soften those knees as we roll ourselves up. As we do 1 more for the chair, helping with our hips. I'm going to turn my chair just like this. That way, if balance is a little funny, you've got the chair as your aid, and we're just going to take the leg that's away from the back of our chair and put it up onto the seat of our chair. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so that way when I lunge, my my knee and ankle are stacked. So coming back, I just want to tuck our tailbones under forward into a lunge. Knee ankle stacked. And extend back. Again, come forward to a lunge. Allow the knee to fall away from the back of the chair. And come in. One more time. Coming into our lunge. Tailbone is still tucked under. The foot that's on the floor, that's the hip that's getting a delicious stretch right now. And back. Now this time I'd like us to come forward into the lunge and stay here. Allow the knee to fall away as we bring the hand inside the big toe. We want to sink our chest, sink the hips down. If we want to deepen the stretch, we can do a little wiggle wiggle with our foot out. And allow the hips to sink a little deeper. I have my hand on the back of my chair. My other hand's inside my big toe. My arm is just resting on the inside of my shin. My knee is falling away. Good. It's walking ourselves back out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to do a little do-si-do. And it is my foot that I bring up. That's furthest away from the backrest. I'm going to wiggle myself out just a little bit. Then have my weight over my back foot. So as we come into the lunge, our tailbone is tucked under. We come to where our knee and our ankle are stacked. We feel that delicious little tension right in here. And then we come back. Let's do this 3 more times. Forward into a lunge, pushing the foot through the floor. And back. 2 more. This hand is just resting here, not pushing. It's our last one. Keep that tailbone tucked under, belly muscles in, ribs stitched towards the hip. And this time as we come back into our lunge, we're going to stay. So be here. Take that hand, placed on the inside of the big toe, allowing our knee to fall away, allowing our hips to sink down. Now if you want, I'm going to toe heel out just a little bit. My hands back here just for balance. My hip relaxed a little bit more, my knees falling away a little bit more. I'm going to wiggle back just a little bit to allow my hips to sink down. Gosh, it feels good. Just a little wiggle. That feels kind of good. Good. Slowly pressing ourselves up and off of our chair. Let's put our chairs to the side for now. Using our blocks. Again, if you don't have a block, that's okay. Maybe grab a book, something a little bit more firm than a pillow, because it'll help you with your hand position. We're going to use the block, coming down onto the mat, hands and knees. I just want us to be a little elevated, okay? If you can come all the way to the floor, wonderful. Make a wrinkle in it if you need to, okay? Stepping forward with the foot. I would prefer right now the foot that's furthest away from the camera. I got the block right here. I'm gonna wiggle this leg back. And again, tailbone tucked under, allowing the hips to sink down into a lunge. Let the top of the foot rest there. I have my hands elevated on my block. You can also bring it up here. So this is very much like what we just did on the chair. And I'm just going to rock my hips side to side. Introducing a little bit of movement. And you can do whatever feels good. Maybe just coming a little forward and back. Maybe a little side to side hip tick-tock. Feels kind of good. Good. Still having my block here, I'm going to take the hand that's closest to my shin, keeping it on the block, and I'm going to point towards me, okay? And as we point, keep the arm there. Now pushing inside of the thigh. And point towards me, and press through the thigh, rotate to open. Remember, the arm is just a barometer. It's just telling you how far you're rotating. And come back down. One more time. Point. And press to open. And come back down. Good. Let's switch sides. Coming into our lunge. And don't worry, you have to kind of wiggle to get into it. Let's tuck our tailbones under. And then pointing towards the back wall. Pushing through the inner thigh to open. And release. Good. Just shake it out. We're going to do that again. Inhale as we point. Exhale as we press through, rotating through the spine. Release. Good. Wiggle out those hips. Last time. Let's point to the back wall. Then press. Good. Step back out. So we walk our hands back. We'll move our block out of the way. We're done with it for now. So we come up, just stepping into a lunge. So we did a lot for the lower back. We're going to move up the spine and go thoracic. So let's lay our fingertips on our shoulders. Keeping the hips squared, we want to keep the belly button facing forward because the rotation will be from the rib cage up only. So, fingertips on the shoulders, rotate towards me, pushing this hip forward, keeping that rotation out from the lower back, and pausing when we feel that resistance. Try not to force it and open up the hip. This is not about how much can I crank around. It's more about getting into that thoracic spine. So right there's where I feel my resistance. Now, let's pretend to pour water out from our elbow. And lift. And then rotate a little bit more. Pouring water out. And lift. Rotate. And one more pour. And lift. Rotate, hold right here. Good. Extending the arms out to a T. And back to center. Let's change sides. Again, make a wrinkle in the mat if you need to. Give your knee a little bit of padding. And again, try not to make a shelf. We want to take that shelf away, so tuck the tailbone under strongly. And again, making sure the hips are squared to the edge of our mat and our belly button's pointed forward and not opening up as we put our fingertips on our shoulders. And rotate away from each other. Pausing when we feel that resistance. And now pouring water out from our elbow. And lift. And rotate. And pouring water. And lift. And rotate. One last pour. And one last try. Let's extend our arms out. back to center. Good. Go ahead and step the feet underneath us. We'll switch around and have a seat upon or sit upon here. As we extend our legs out, let's put our hands underneath our shoulders as we lean back a little bit, hollowing out through our belly, okay? Hollow out. Soft elbows. I want us to press through the floor, straightening out the elbows and broadening our chest. Again, we're not arcing in our low back. Take the flare out from the ribs, pull the ribs down. Make this all about the stretch within the chest and the fronts of our shoulders. If the intensity is a little bit too much, you can slightly rotate the fingertips outward, or place 2 blocks underneath you, or 2 pillows right underneath the heels of your hand. That can also work. Just try not to push and flare. I want us to pull the ribs down. Hollow out through the belly. Wonderful stretch through the fronts of our shoulders. Just slowly working our way up the body. Good. Let's scoot on down and uncurl ourselves onto the mat. I'm going to make sure I have enough room here. I'm going to hit my lovely little Buddha in my corner. So I'm just going to scoot down, because what we want to do is make some snow angels. I'll be making some dust angels. I need to get down here at the broom. Let the feet be as wide as the mat, turning our toes inward, allowing the knees to drift to one another, giving our lower back a little bit of a break. Let's lay our palms, fingers up, palms up, and slowly sweep overhead till the hands touch, and sweeping back down. What I want us to pay attention to is, are we flaring our ribs to make sure our hands touch the whole time? I'd rather not. I would rather we press the whole back side of our body, the backs of our ribs, the backs of our shoulders to the floor, and do this. And I don't know if you can see it. It comes out of the camera frame. But this arm does not touch the whole time. My other arm does. I have a bit better mobility in my right arm than my left. But it's a work in progress. Give that a try. We're going to do 3 more snow angels. Think about spreading out the whole backside. Pull the ribs down, pull the shoulders down. Just let gravity help open up the chest. 2 more. See, this arm touches, but this arm doesn't quite. I'm not going to force it, because then my rib will flare. I'm going to pull my ribs down, flatten out my back, flatten out the shoulder blades. Don't let them rise up on the edges. The whole broad side of the shoulder blade is down. Good. 1 more time. Again, breathing into the tension in the shoulders and the pecs. And now my hand touches. Good. Let's bring our hands straight out from our shoulders. Try not to extend. I want us to pull so the back of the shoulders are touching that floor. Taking one arm just across the body, but don't pull so much that you lift the shoulder. Keep that shoulder down. Just a little stretch for the back of the shoulder. And now taking that arm overhead, grabbing our wrist. I just want us to lengthen that arm out from the shoulder. And release. And changing sides. So we'll put our arm up. Remember, we don't want to extend. The back of our shoulder touches. and it stays touching as we draw the arm gently across the body, stopping when we want to lift that shoulder away from the ground. It's just a gentle stretch for the back of the shoulder. And now overhead, grabbing our wrist, elongate. And release. Good. Let the arms be at goalposts. And then flip the fingertips pointing to the ceiling. Stitch the ribs down, pull the belly muscles down. And a goalpost. Fingers up. 2 goalposts, one more time. Good. Let's draw in one knee, it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to scoot back up. So one knee in, one leg long, both feet flexed, pushing through the heel of the extended leg, pulling the knee up towards our shoulder, and then bring the forehead in the direction of the knee. Good. Extending the heel to the ceiling, point the toe. Let's float the foot down as we change sides. Feet flexed, draw the knee in, reaching in opposite directions, and then forehead to the knee. And release. Stand up, point the foot, and floating it down. Coming into a final relaxation, go ahead and wiggle it out, lift the shoulders, lift the hips. I hope this was an enjoyable stretch for you today. Please keep in mind, belly breathing can be something in your pocket to whip out when you feel a little stressed, overwhelmed, angry, anxious, all of the above. Take back some control. That gives you that little bit of power. Because you are strong. Let's rock and roll to seated. You may ease up onto your side if you like. And I hope you found today's class a little different, a little challenging, and a little fun. Hope it was the end to a great day, or a stressful one, or a nice start for your beginning. Until then, we'll see you. Have a good one.